Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to day 4 of Nevada Digital Learning Week and happy Digital Learning Day. I'm Caitlin Llewellyn from the Nevada Department of Education, Office of Early Learning and Development, and I'm joined by my colleague Mark and 2 very special guests.
Thank you, Caitlin. My name is Mark Rincon, and I'm from the Office of Standards and Instructional Support here at the Nevada Department of Education.
Just wanted to let you know that this meeting is now being recorded. Remember, in addition to joining us live each day, you can participate by following the NVDL Week 21 hashtag on social media and sharing your digital learning stories with us. As we continue on this week, hearing from stakeholders across the state and having different folks join us, we would like to acknowledge the Indigenous peoples whose traditional homeland, where we are presenting from and where people are joining us from, in what is now the state of Nevada. The Numa, also known as Northern Paiute, the Nuwu, Southern Paiute, Washishu, Washo, and Nui, Western Shoshone. Our first guest is Alex Gallegos. Alex is a senior at El Dorado High School and a current student body president. He has been involved in student leadership since the beginning of his high school career and intends to pursue post-secondary education to study political science. Alex also serves as the current student member to the Nevada State Board of Education, where he is honored to represent Nevada's youth and advocate for equitable education. Alex, thank you for being here.
Thank you for that introduction, and I'm happy to be here.
Our second guest is former Nevada State Senator Joyce Woodhouse. Joyce Woodhouse has served as director of the School Community Partnership Program for the Clark County School District in Las Vegas from 1985 to 2006. In this capacity, she served as liaison between the district and the business community with the mission of unifying school and community resources to enhance the educational experiences of students. In addition, Joyce has been an elementary school principal and a first grade teacher, rounding out a 40-year career in public education. Joyce has worked on enhancing computer science and digital learning in our state, and we are very pleased to have her here with us this afternoon. Joyce, I'll pass it over to you to kick off our questions with Alex.
Well, thank you so very much, and I really appreciate this opportunity. Alex, I think we've just met first on camera, which is the way we're doing our business so much these days, but I'm thrilled with this opportunity to have the opportunity to throw a few questions to you so that we can all learn what it is like from the situation that our students are in with digital learning. So I'm going to ask you to go back before the pandemic and share with us how you were using the digital tools and resources that you had available to you as a high school student. And then later we'll talk about what it's like now during the pandemic. So before the pandemic, how did you use your digital tools and resources?
Of course, thank you. So I was very lucky enough to have gone to a high school and a middle school actually that was really intent on preparing me for a digital world. I don't think anybody could have expected that we would have been so immersed in it like this. But they definitely did prepare me with tools and skills that are so valuable today and helping me get through this pandemic and virtual learning. We were frequently using Google products such as Google Docs, Gmail, stuff like that. And then every student had in high school a Chromebook even before the pandemic started. And then in middle school, every student had an iPad. And we would be taking our tests on those devices and really using them throughout the day. And it did prepare me for what schooling looks like now. That being said, I don't think we were necessarily where we needed to be, and it was sort of a shock when we went into virtual learning. So one example of that is that there was a lot of talk in the beginning of the year about teachers going through an email etiquette class, which I think is a brilliant idea because students really weren't sure of how to properly write a professional email. So students writing the entire email in the subject line, stuff like that. And I think that's a great idea, and um, something that all teachers should consider, because that's an important skill as well.
Very good. And that is definitely a skill that we all need to keep at the top of the line of what we do. So now that you are in virtual learning um, for your high school career, and tell us what your typical day looks like.
Yeah, so it actually depends on which day of the week it is. My school is on a modified block schedule. So we have an A day on Monday and Thursday, a B day on Tuesday and Friday, and then Wednesday is our check-in day, and we go to our classes for 10 minutes on is, which is pretty unique, but that's opened up a lot of room for time for classwork and mental wellness breaks if needed. So I wake up for school every day at 7 o'clock in the morning, just as a habit. I know a lot of students wake up until 1 minute until the class starts, but I like to wake up at 7 o'clock in the morning just to get all the juices flowing. And, you know, that sort of helps me, because that's what I did before virtual schooling as well. And then every day I start school at 8:30, and at the latest I'm in school until 1:15 p.m.
Mhm.
And after that, I have homework for about 2 to 3 hours, which I would say as an AP and honor student, that's pretty reasonable. I know that that's not the case for everybody else, but that's how long I usually spend doing homework. And then I usually have, depending on the day, a virtual meeting like the one that we're having now, whether that's for the Nevada Association of Student Councils or the State Board of Ed or CCSD projects, stuff like that.
So what classes are you taking this school year
Of
in
course.
your
So
whole virtual experience?
yeah, I have pretty much stacked my schedule as a senior and took more classes than I needed to, because I was going to be home anyways, and I thought might as well. So I'm taking 4 AP classes, those being English, literature, statistics, psychology, and government and politics, and then a bunch of other electives such as painting one and student council. So pretty like a good diversity of classes, I would say.
It sounds like it. A lot on your plate, and great job.
Thank you.
I know so many times that our seniors, when they've reached the credits that you have to have in order to graduate, they may have a much easier schedule on their 12th year. They're in the senior year. So it's great to see you taking on additional challenges. So congratulations on that.
Thank you. It keeps me busy for sure.
That's good. That is the best thing in the world. So tell us, what have your teachers and school staff done to help support you as you're working through virtual learning? And then if you know some other students who have had different circumstances, if you would share those. But I really want to
I
know how about you.
I love this question. I think it's so easy to focus on where improvements can be made and the negative things about virtual schooling, but I think it would be a crime to not say that teachers are doing a lot of good out there as well. Um, Not to get too off track, but I remember reading as a younger student this story about uh, a future world where teachers are sort of replaced robots. And it's funny, but it had this like dystopian feel to it, and it was really trying to make you scared about that reality. And for me, that worked. I was sort of originally scared of that, but I realized from this pandemic that that is either not possible or we're so far from that, because the teachers really do make this work. And it's important to recognize that. Um, but I think the greatest support that my teachers have shown me, and I think for a lot of other students as well, is a great attitude. And I think walking in and just showing up with enthusiasm is 75% of the work. And that's important to recognize and encourage teachers to do, even though a lot of them also are struggling with the pandemic. But that has helped me, and I've been so thankful for my teachers who have done that. Um, and it's important to lighten up and take time for play. I think my teachers have, I've been so thankful that they've been willing to, play games in class, tell entertaining stories about when they were in school or about anything really, and not take ourselves too seriously, ask funny questions too. I think those are important. Students have been going through a pandemic and a lot of people are struggling. And I think it's important to not discredit that, but also to lighten up every once in a while. And my teachers have been doing great things, and realizing that some things are frivolous and shouldn't come before a student's mental, emotional, psychological, and physical health also.
Thank you very much. And I applaud you for really taking an understanding of what your teachers are going through and the other support staff in your school, because it's so important that we look at the full range of what is happening with K-12 education in the fact that we are going through virtual learning. And some of us, I know that if I was still teaching, this would be really hard for me to do. So I agree with you. I just want to say thank you so much to those teachers and all of our school employees of what they're doing to make sure that you are being successful as you're going through your last year in high school. So my next question is, as you get closer to graduating and moving on with your next adventure, what skills has the digital world given you to use in your future?
So first of all, I hope nothing is as big of an adventure as this pandemic going forward.
Me
Uh,
too.
I think I've had enough of that type of adventure, but going forward, college is definitely where I want to go. Like Caitlin said in my introduction, I want to pursue a post-secondary education, and I realized that that's not for everybody. And I think that this pandemic has showed people that maybe we should reconsider, and maybe all of our plans before weren't, uh, plans change, and that's just how things are. But from this experience, I've really learned self-reliance, which is so important, and how to really fend for myself and make sure that I'm doing the best that I can, because like in college, I don't think necessarily that somebody's always going to be there pushing you. And I know that's a luxury that I don't think everybody is afforded, but that's something that I've taken away from this. I also think that the pandemic brought, in a weird way, necessary change and sort of shook up my world in a way that
Mhm.
needed to happen. I think I was too comfortable going through the motions. So, good lessons all around that I learned and took away from this. And on the more technical side, I think I'm more tech savvy, which will become useful in high school. And I learned that not everything is our control, and that sometimes it's better to really let things go and let the universe work it out for you.
Mhm. Well, you've certainly covered so many of the bases as you get ready to move on into the future. And I'm sure you're heading to a college or a university, but that resilience, that work ethic that you have is going to hold you in great stead. Plus the fact, I can already tell you that you are a people person. And so I applaud you for that as well. Um, we did receive an email this morning from the Department of Education. So I just wanted to say congratulations to you, Alex, for being identified as an alternate for the United States Senate Youth Program. And that's, you've done wonderful things in your high school career in order to be recognized for this. And so I just wanted to give you a shout out for being an absolutely wonderful young man with great leadership skills and opportunities going on into the future. Uh, so I did just use that word future. What are your future plans once you graduate?
Thank you. First of all, I want to say thank you to those that made opportunities like that possible, because that's something extra that is really helping me, and that was a great opportunity. But in the future, I think that opportunity really reflected what I wanted to do in the future, which is become a public servant. And wherever I go, even if I go out of state for college, to really come back to Nevada and do good work here and serve Nevada.
And that makes my heart so proud of you, that wherever you go, you want to come back to Nevada, because that is absolutely what we want to see happen with our young people that are going through our public schools, that you come back and be a part of us in the future. Because, I know we all say it, you are our future, and you really, really are. And also just wanted to say thank you so much for the work that you're doing as a student representative on the Nevada State Board of Education, because we need your voice always. So thank you, and good luck in everything that you do.
Thank you. Thank you so much. And thank you to viewers and anybody that is listening, because I think that's equally as important when people are talking as to listen.
Very good. Thank you, all of you, very much.
Absolutely. Thank you too again so much for sharing your time and wisdom with us. I just wanted to make a quick plug for another panel that Alex recently co-facilitated with an NDE staff member. If you Google Nevada PTA student listening sessions with Clark County high school students, you'll actually get a chance to hear from other students in Clark County. Alex, again, so appreciative of you giving us a glimpse into the student experience. And if you wanted to hear more, definitely check out that link that Mark just dropped into the chat to be able to hear from some more students in Clark County. And then I did want to give another plug for our NDE YouTube channel, in case folks have missed the videos from the rest of the week or aren't able to join us live tomorrow. Mark will post that link into the chat as well, so you can see some of the other interviews we've had with our stakeholders in our state. With that being said, tomorrow we will finish off our week with a interview with Nevada 2021 Teacher of the Year, Juliana Urtubey. So we're super lucky to have her to finish off the week. And again, thank you to so much Alex and Joyce for being here and everyone listening. And we hope you have a wonderful rest of the week.
Thank you very much. We really appreciate being here.
Thank you. Yes.
Thank you.